put in this joinery, we first need to create all these vertical parts. So let's start with this back vertical. Go back to our project. I'm going to swing around to the right side here. Now let's turn our sketch on. And you can see that we have almost all the information we need, except for the fact that this part actually comes down through the bottom so that we're able to create that joinery. So let's zoom back out here and let's fix that. Right, so we're going to modify by editing sketch. Right, we're going to come up and say modify. And we're going to extend those lines down through the bottom. There we go. Say finish sketch. Okay, and we'll swing this back around. Now, before we extrude anything, we better create a new component. Right, so new component, and let's call it the back vert. Say okay. With that component selected, we're going to E for extrude, and now let's extrude this whole width of this part all the way down through the bottom. The distance is going to be to object. We're going to select the opposite side. And there you go. So we have that full length and width of that part. Next thing, let's cut out the joinery. And to do that, we're going to use the combine tool. The target body is going to be the part we're cutting from. The tool body is going to be the two sides, making sure we're keeping the tools. Say OK. But notice that when we do that, it creates this little unwanted tab. So we need to make sure that we cut that away when we lay out the joinery for the bottom. The other thing is, like, let's simplify this, right? So let's make the joinery back here line up with these tabs so we don't have to lay it out again. Okay. So again, I have this component selected. I'm going to create a new sketch on this face, and then the first thing I need to do is project that part onto that blank sketch place. Say OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and say project one more time, and I'm going to project the front so that I get this layout. Say OK. And then I'm going to swing this around. Now it's getting a little confusing, right? So let's go ahead and let's turn off all three-dimensional parts. Click on all these, I will turn them off. Okay. And now let's look at this back in orthographic view, and you can see there's lines missing here, right? It's because I want to be able to cut these parts out, and there's no line there. So let's create a line going across the top here. Right. We'll do another line all the way across the bottom. All right, and then to be safe, let's create another line from there to there, and one more. From there to there. Oops. A problem here. So let's try it again. So create a line from that point to that point. Escape. All right. Go back into our line. Make a line from there to there. Escape. And then one more time over on the other end here. Escape. Okay, so now see how they hover over these areas. I can select each of them, which is what I want. So let's finish our sketch. And then let's look at this from three-quarter view. Again, I'm still working on this component. Hit E for extrude, and I'm going to extrude that. This is positive, negative, positive, negative. And again, I want to make sure I get rid of that little tab. Going back this way, I'm cutting it away, and the distance is going to be to object. Okay, so there we go. So it looks like we have that back vertical part completed. then let's go ahead while we're at it, and let's cut this joinery out of the bottom. So let's turn the bottom back on, right? And let's make sure that bottom component is selected. Okay, and then what do we need to do? Well, we need to use the combine tool one more time, right? So I combine the part that I'm cutting from, part that I'm using to cut it out. Say okay, and there we go. So we've got those joints lined up exactly where they need to be.